Hello there everyone, it's Cassie. Welcome back for another Trinity Stamps video. Today we're going to be working on a very eerie background, but before we get into that, let's talk about what we're using. I have the brand new Hoot Hoot Hooray stamp set from Trinity Stamps. It's adorable. There's matching dies to go along with it, and then there's also some matching masks. I'm not going to use the masks today, but we will be using those matching dies. I'm also bringing in the Moon Layers stencil. This is an older stencil, but it's fabulous. I need this part of the stencil to start. This is the mask. We are going to be masking off the moon. And you saw the tree frame die, that's the A2 size one. I'm just kind of lining that up on my distress watercolor paper just to kind of see where I want that moon to go. And then I'll tack that down with a little bit of washi tape. And then we're going to put that in my brand new splatter box. By brand new splatter box, I mean new Amazon package box. And I'm going to start spritzing on some distress spray stains. That first one is Speckled Egg, and I do want to kind of heat set that a little bit before I move on to the next color. I am only using my heat gun where I've done the splatter. I don't want it over the stencil itself because that could potentially warp it, and we definitely don't want that. Then I've brought in some weathered wood, and I definitely want those big splatters, so I've kind of kept some of that going. And we are going to heat set this again, just avoiding the stencil piece, the little mask where we don't want to heat that up. So I'm going to keep going with that, and then I'll use just a microfiber cloth to kind of lightly wipe off or blot up the ink that was on the mask. I'm bringing in my blending buddy, the blue one that I have, and some Simon Hurley Create Midnight Snack. I'm going to use a piece of mint tape for my fingers so I don't get those all covered in the dark blue. And then we're just going to start lightly going from the edges in, blending in that color. And that is going to just darken up the edges a bit, and I love how that looks. If you wanted it to be even darker on those edges, which I don't think is necessary because that frame is going to cover it, you could bring in some black as well. We're going to clean up our glass mat, and then we're going to move on to the next part of the technique. We're going to pull off that stencil and then, or the mask. And then this is when I realize I think I kind of want to use the other part of that stencil. And so I'm going to bring in, and once again, that stencil is the Moon Layers. And I'm just going to bring in some shooting star along with my yellow blending buddy and lightly blend that over the top. And it looks really good. I like that. You could leave this as is if you wanted. And I think that would look really, really good. But I decided to take it a step further and do a little spritzing. Now, I will end up losing some of that detail on the moon, but what I want is for the clouds, like for it to look like there are clouds going across the moon, making it look a little bit eerie. This is an older technique, probably a couple years old, and I've done it a few times, and it's always fun, and you always get a different look. And I would encourage you to keep going. Maybe don't spray a ton of water to start, but keep working it until you are happy with it. And play around, because all you'll end up with are a bunch of really fun backgrounds. So that's my encouragement to you. So I'm just trying to lightly use my water sprayer that I have, and heat setting in between, blotting in between. And I think I'm really starting to like how this looks. It definitely looks like there could be some clouds going across the moon. I've seen some really beautifully done ones where they use different colors like purples or greens or like this dark blues, and it always just gives a little bit different of a look. You just never know how these inks are going to end up looking in the end, so it's fun to play around. So I'm just about done here. Gonna just, like I said, keep heat setting until I'm happy with that. And then I'm finally gonna, once I'm happy with the way that looks, I'm gonna put this back into the splatter box and bring in that mask one more time, because I don't think, I did lose a lot of that like big splatter from the weathered wood, and I really want to bring that back in. So I'm just going to mask that off and then splatter some more of that onto our background. I love, love, love how those big splatters look on there. And then I'm going to heat set that after I move the mask out of the way. And then I'm going to do one more thing. So some of you know that we recently moved, and in the moving, that means I had to move my entire craft room, which also means that I rediscovered all kinds of fun things in my craft room. So that was nice. And so I'm going to bring in, I don't even think this stuff's available anymore. It could be, but it's a sheer shimmer spritz, and this is in the pewter. And I'm going to spritz it all over the background just to give it a little light shimmer. And then I'm going to take the lid off, and I'm going to do big splatters of it too. It's subtle. You really can't see it on screen very well, but it does look pretty good. And I am so happy with how this background ended up turning out. So I'm going to bring that up to the front here, just so you can kind of get a look of how cool that really does look after I heat set it. So another thing I've learned is that carpet isn't always your friend with a rolling chair. So my old office had wood floors, and so I was able to just scoot all over the place, but here we have carpet. So all right, now we're going to move on to our stamping. I do have a piece of Express It cardstock in my Misty, and I've got each of my stamps out. I decided to make this one a birthday card, even though I went with that eerie background. Fall is coming. There are people who have birthdays in the fall, right? So I thought this one would be a good one. It's also, in my mind, a little bit masculine, so it could go either way. And I, like I said, happy with how it turned out. So I'm going to ink this up with some Simon Hurley Create Stellar Black Widow ink. This is actually really good for Copic coloring or alcohol marker coloring. I'm going to be using my Olo markers. And so we're going to get going on that. Now, again, with the move, discovered new things, which was very cool, but also lost a few things. I can't seem to find my swatches. And that's disturbing for me because my swatches are heavily used for me as well. So I think I'm going to have to either keep looking or re-swatch all of my Olos and my Copics because I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. Looking at the caps isn't always the best answer. Those colors aren't always actually indicative of what the color is going to end up on your paper. So this is why I always highly encourage swatching, and I'm gonna have to redo them, like I said. So grabbing colors that I think might look good from my memory, but I don't have, always have the best memory. And maybe I rely too heavily on my swatches, but swatches are also good because, and keeping them in the same spot is really good too, because, maybe you're working on a project and if you have all your swatches together, you kind of know what colors are going to go. You can quickly pull those out and match them up together. Whereas if you're looking all over the place for different swatches that aren't in the same spot, maybe one book in particular, you're just adding time to your crafting that isn't necessarily the fun part. So, yeah. Also using the Olos, I've said this before, especially when you're coloring small spots like I'm coloring here, your Olos like to be juicy, and so they will have a tendency to bring that color right to the front. So quite the opposite of some of our other alcohol markers. These ones tend to be really juicy right at the tip. So I keep a microfiber cloth close by and I keep an eye on my tip. And when it looks extra juicy, I will just wipe it onto my microfiber cloth. It doesn't hurt it. It just wipes up some of that excess. But usually I never have a problem with them drying out, just sometimes have a problem with them being an extra juicy one. All right, so we're going to go ahead and color up the branches you see here. Originally I started with a light color and then I thought, well, I'm putting that on a black frame and I didn't want it to stand out too much, so I decided to darken up the piece of wood as well. And so now we're all ready to go. We're going to pull in those matching dies and we'll tack that down with a little bit of mint tape. And when we have all of them tacked down, we'll run that through our die cutting machine. And I also went ahead and die cut out that A2 tree frame die. There is one in an A7 also. So if you like to make the bigger ones, that you have options, which is great. I do have both because I do like to make big cards sometimes, and you can make some really big fun shakers with both of these as well. So using the tip of my pickup stick, I was able to get the excess pieces out, but take a look at that. It looks super cool. And I love that 3D effect to it. So we're going to add to it here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and glue my pieces together. So my little owl has a hat. I want the branch to be behind the frame, so I'm just adding a tiny bit of glue to the branch, and I'll stick the frame on top of that. The reason I want to do that is because I do want to use some foam tape, and so I'm going to go ahead and grab in some foam strips, and we're going to put that all over our background, including our owl, because we want those to be sticking up. And then we'll glue down our panel to our card base. Our card base just measured 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches and was scored at 4.25, so it is a side folding A2 size card. And we'll just glue that down. And then the next thing we can do is peel off the release paper and stick down our adorable little owl and frame. So cute. And then we can glue down our sentiment, which is Hoot, Hoot, Hooray. We'll add more to the inside here at the end, but I like how he's looking. I do decide to bring in some embellishments because, of course, and this is the Celestial Sky embellishments from Trinity Stamps, and I'm bringing in my pickup stick just to put down the yellow and the more iridescent looking ones. I decided not to use the blue, even though those would look really pretty too. And I was pretty liberal with how I put those down. They are all over the inside and the outside. And then now we're going to stamp out our sentiments. So what makes this stamp set so cool is you can kind of customize your sentiments a little bit. So I'm going to add "It's Your Birthday." So you can do YOUR as in possessive, or you can do the YOU apostrophe RE. So again, you have options there. And then I'll stamp "It's Your Birthday." And then I'm going to bring in some Guppy ink and we'll stamp down an owl, and then we'll bring back in that midnight sky to stamp out a present in his little wing. And then once I'm done with that, that's going to finish off our card for today. So I hope you enjoyed this technique. I hope you give it a try. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button. Definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And as always, I will see you very soon in another video. Bye everybody.